The information supplied on this program does not consider your personal circumstances and is general advice only. You should not act on any recommendation without considering your personal needs, circumstances and objectives. Retire Invest recommends you obtain professional financial advice specific to your circumstances. Jeff English is an authorised representative of RI Advice Group Proprietary Limited.
22-1. Jeff English, we're hearing it from both sides of Parliament at the moment. Negative gearing. And it's also the subject of, like, even newspaper cartoons, like today, in today's Chronicle. Just explain, because I know that one side of politics wants to make some changes to negative gearing if they're elected. The other side of politics says, no, we're not going to make any changes to negative gearing if we're elected. What's negative gearing?
For a start, then, gearing is the strategy of borrowing money to invest. So you take out a loan to buy a home, or borrowing money to invest in shares or manage funds, that sort of thing. Gearing effectively is that strategy of boosting your earning power by increasing the amount of money you have to invest. I'll borrow some money, we'll invest it, more than I have available to me. So the negative that comes in is when the cost of owning, say, a rental property outweighs the income it generates each year. So that creates a tax loss, which can be offset against other income, effectively giving you, say, a tax refund, which can then be employed into repayments.
Right.
So it's basically the tax treatment of the negative gearing, not positive gearing, where you're actually making a profit per se, where they're looking at making those changes.
Okay. So, what are the changes that are being proposed? Because we know, I think Bill Shorten wants to make some changes.
Well, there's been a little bit of sort of scaremongering around changes on negative gearing over the last number of budgets when we think back. And I'm fairly sure that there was a little bit of thinking going on with the government as to what we could change. Malcolm Turnbull's come out now and said we're not going to change negative gearing. We don't want to make any adjustments. Whereas Labor are saying effectively they do want changes, and they're looking at restricting negative gearing to investments on new homes only. Fixing the leaky bucket of the tax system. The problem that comes with it as well is that they're actually proposing to restrict negative gearing to new housing, also reducing the capital gains tax for investments like that are held for longer than 12 months on 25% of the gain that's made rather than the normal 50%. So they're also looking at changing capital gains tax around it as well. The problem with that is that there's now debate being had about what is this going to do to home prices. If you're restricting the system to a certain component, what does it do to the rest? So, for me, it makes a fair bit of sense. We'd see a significant drop in current homes around that. There's debate about it being 10%, higher than 10%, etc. So, coupled with maybe an interest rate rise or two in the future, I'm not sure that that's a great plan out of Labor at this stage.
All right. Are you getting clients who are involved in negative gearing talking to you?
There are now questions coming. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's as to whether they could get those sort of measures. First of all, get elected, and then can you get those measures through the Senate as well? But it doesn't actually make logical sense to split something like that to certain components of the market.
All right. If you'd like some advice on negative gearing, you can give the staff at Retire Invest a call and make an appointment. 4639 3733. 4639 3733. Jeff, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
It's now